Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, Sagitnet 2. I was reading all your comments, concerns. It's more like a question and answer portion. So I've made a list of all the things that it needs to be answered. Thank you, by the way, for making all those comments and concerns. It will be somewhat a multiple episodes because I don't think I can fit it all within 10 minutes or so. And I don't want to make it too long where you get bored. I thought it was a good idea to go over it, give it a special moment in time on this channel. As everyone knows, this is more like your channel. I'm just your host. You are part of it, part of this build. And what's on the list is something related to what I'm about to do on this engine. And also it involves some of the past episodes. Anyway, like I said earlier, that it'll be a good idea to give it a special moment in time. And I'll just gonna go ahead and go right at it. My number one pick on this comment was, it's good to be back on Boost. Thank you for your comment, and that really drives my motivation to go full speed ahead. A little bit of information about myself. My first car happened to be a Nissan 200SX, and it's boosted. It's a 1.8 4-cylinder boosted motor. This is what left of it. This is the only reminder I have on that car. I removed this nameplate on top of the valve cover. I removed it before the car was sent to a junkyard or a scrapyard because someone rear-ended me. So yes, it will be nice to be back on Boost. Next is the power steering on the EJ9 swap, together with routing the shifter cables. Man, I could not resist the weather we had today. It's gonna be hot today. I can tell by just looking at those clouds. I think it's only 9 o'clock, but man, beautiful. Well, back to this one. For the power steering, you have mentioned that you have EJ9 Civic. I assume that you have a full H22 swap. It's because of you're asking a help for putting a hole on the tunnel for your cables. If you have a full H22 swap, your engine will be sitting similar to this. You will have room for your power steering belt, and also this will be closer to the frame right in this area. I'm using a H22A4 power steering bracket. This came off from a 97 to 2001 Honda Prelude. I have made 2 episodes regarding this power steering setup. First one is when I was making that adapter bracket underneath, but if you watch that episode, you will see how I made it. The dipstick, I secured this after I finalized my belt. I mark where it should be, put a hole in it, and just create a thread on it. I have to replace the fitting, which is, this is from K-tuned, and this is for 2002 to 06 Acura RSX, and it's swivel. The hose, the OE, it's coming from on top. All I did is reverse it, turn it opposite, and that's how you see it right there. But your alternator has to be relocated. which you can see I'm using a DIY adapter right here, more like a mount, because the original used to be mounted right on top of it right here, and you will not have enough room to lower the power steering pump. Yeah, you won't be able to put on the belt. You can get one of those relocator bracket that attach to the air conditioning area if you don't have the air conditioning anymore, and use that instead. That way you'll have more room for the pump. Be aware when you use one of those bracket, which is, I have it right here. This one, the mount bolts will move. You can see here that it goes in an angle. Once you tighten this, you see it moves to the left. When you put a tension on that belt, it's gonna go crooked. It's either modify this, spot weld, or buy a bushing that you could use. That way the alternator will sit straight. Otherwise, if that alternator move like to the left, once it pulled it with that tension from the belt, it's gonna rip the belt apart. Then you will have some issue. And for your shifter, putting holes on the tunnel, yeah, I wish I could remove that and show you my tunnel, what it looked like. Man, you don't want to see it anyway. It's ugly. I have multiple holes in it. I just kind of patch it up. But if you are using an original Honda Prelude shifter, if you just place it on top of that, once you're satisfied where you want it, yeah, you could pretty much like eyeball where your hole is gonna be. I could not really give you a specific place where to put the hole. It's because I was using a custom shifter, which is, this is from Hybrid Racing. It's for Acura 02 to 06 RSX, which is I have to modify it. It's because I don't want anything sticking out. I don't like having any of the trim being cut off, and I just don't like the cable exposed. Yeah, that's the reason why I made my own custom shifter platform. If you're using a OE Honda Prelude shifter, you just place it, find a location for it within that trim panel and everything, and just lay down your cables and just follow it through. It's either you have to put it here, because the higher it gets, the more clearance you will get. Just like this one here, this is for a 02 RSX. Well, this used to be onto here. So if you follow it like so, then you will have more room. Remember, this flex also, so you probably have enough room for it. And if you want a different shifting experience, I can recommend for you to use a 97-01 Honda Prelude made by Hybrid Racing. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. Together with a 97-01 or 98-2000 Honda Accord shifting cables, and you don't have to worry about using a special bracket that goes here, because it's almost plug and play on a H22. For a Civic, you still have to massage it as far as the tunnel is concerned, but it's doable. You would not have any problem doing that. Yeah, this one here, see how I made this one? I cut this off to make it lower, and I made this so I can use it on my Honda Accord. Yeah, that way you don't have to make your own bracket and everything. But this used to be a part of the shifter assembly from a 96-2000 Honda Civic. I just made this bracket right here and secure it on top of it. Yeah, gasket goes there. I think that's just about it for this episode, and thank you all for leaving all those comments and questionnaires, concerns, and I thank you all. Again, this will be a multiple episodes. I could not condense it all in one, But then again, it's all related on what we are trying to accomplish here. Thank you all for watching. Next episode. Man, I could not ignore the clouds, man.